Don't tell people your dreams. Show them. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna show you. This guy right here had a master plan. And I never thought that we would be here. But we're here and we're sharing our journey. And boy, do we have some lessons learned on life, farming, gardening, this YouTube journey. You name it, we got them. We have a little something for everyone. So stick around and let us share our lessons learned.
So it's been about a year since we moved back to Iowa, and it's been just a little under a year since we've actually lived here at our farm. And you know, looking at just the last 8 months, we've grown a lot.
We have.
Maybe you can get some takeaways from our lessons learned and adjust from that.
But let's just take them back to the beginning of our journey. When we first decided to move back to Iowa to start our farm, we had some setbacks when it came to the property. We had two great realtors. Love them both to death. And we refer them any day to anyone. And when we were going back and forth from Colorado to Iowa looking at properties, and we found our first house. We put an offer in on a respectful offer, pretty much everything that the seller wanted, and our offer was rejected. The weird part was for a lower bid, but that's here nor there. We had to go back to the drawing board. We went back to the drawing board, and we found another house that we didn't really love, but we could see the potential and see ourselves growing in that house. And we put in an offer. The offer was accepted, and it went at snail pace. At this point, our house in Colorado is sold, and we're on our way here. It was 2 months in, and we hadn't had an inspection on a house. We hadn't really had any communication other than from our realtor, and we didn't know what was going on.
We were in quite a bind.
Yeah, we were. I had already ordered my chickens.
You put the cart before the horse.
I wouldn't say I put the cart before. I had planned, and things didn't go according to my plan. I had planned that my chickens were going to be at our place 2 weeks after we were in our house, and that didn't go according to the plan. So that was a lesson learned. Move forward to something else, and this is when we found this property here. And we were homeless for what, 2 or 3 months?
Yeah, we were fortunate enough to be able to rent a place from a family member, and thank goodness for that. So, and I mean, we at the time we had animals that we had brought with us. You would acquire chickens. So we had quail that we had at my folks' house. We had rabbits that we had at my siblings' house.
Honeybees.
We had honeybees, and then
so we had the makings of a farm that was scattered out throughout
the state,
eastern Iowa.
So it was quite the challenge. It was quite the journey, but
it was well worth it.
It was like this.
It will worth it. I did lose my honeybees, unfortunately. It was a bad winter, but that's here nor there. Most important thing was we were together.
It was definitely a good life lesson when we were really looking for a farm property, and on top of it, you know, kind of a little bit of a bind that we got into because we'd sold our home, and then we kind of ran into some snags purchasing a farm property.
But you know what? It's a blessing. God knew that property wasn't for us.
So I will say that I agree with Ryan. This is definitely this property was meant to be. It's a blessing, and it really has the great makings of, you know, your dream business.
Yes,
it really does. I mean, it truly it's meant to be.
Yeah, it definitely is. This house, we don't talk about the property or the house, the significance of that, the house at all, but we'll talk about that in later videos when we're prepared to. Definitely recommend doing a little bit more research than YouTube. Because I mean, YouTube is an awesome tool to learn and definitely get your creative juices flowing. However, you got to remember that those people that do YouTube videos have been doing it for a number of years. They didn't just start it. So it took them a while to perfect their craft. I went in wholeheartedly blind and was, you know,
like, let's do it.
YouTube said I could do it. They said put it in the ground. They said put that seed in the ground and it's gonna grow. And so that's what I was like, and that's what I did. I mean, when we first bought the property, I didn't have my business plan created. I knew what I wanted to do here, but I hadn't communicated in writing, so she knew what I wanted to do. And then people that, not necessarily saying investors, but people that is emotionally invested into what we were trying to do, knew what I was trying to do. So that's a very important aspect of any business or any journey that you're trying to go on. Write it down. I mean, you don't have, it doesn't have to be something formal. It can be just a vision board.
Well, you kind of did a video of your plan. Like, if you think about it, your first video when we got here, that was your plan.
But I'm saying before.
Yeah.
Before. That was a plan after.
Yeah.
I'm saying beforehand. Write down what you want to do. Planning out your crops. That's another thing I did not do. Mm-hmm. I did not do my research.
That's a garden lesson right here.
Yeah. So I did not do my research on the market, on what people like, and I figured, hey, if I grow it, they're gonna eat it. And a lot of people didn't know some of the foods that we were selling at the market. I mean, it took education. And when you're starting out, it's kind of hard to educate and sell the product at the same time.
Well, give an example, like what?
For instance, yellow squash.
The spaghetti squash?
Yep, no, yellow squash.
Oh, the bumpy squash.
Yep, just yellow squash. Just crooked-neck yellow squash. A lot of people didn't know what crooked-neck yellow squash was. And so we had to educate them on what the crooked-neck yellow squash was and how you cook it.
So why the crooked-neck yellow squash?
What do you mean?
Like, why did you decide to plant that? Like, what?
That's stuff I grew up on. So
okay.
And maybe it's I didn't know, but maybe it's a culture thing. Did you eat crooked-neck squash when you were growing up?
No, we had butternut squash. But what I was thinking was, you know, maybe having a different perspective, maybe having a different, bringing that to the market would be great, like that, you know what I mean? But we just have to find the right product.
It is great in the sense that you're providing people with a service and you're opening their minds up to different foods. That's great. But when you're starting a new business, to educate someone on your product is very difficult to sway them. So you should play the hits. So grow what they like, create your brand. Once you have a trustable brand that they say, hey, I know one thing, with Madacre Farms, I'm gonna get fresh quality foods every time, and I trust their decision, what they grow. At that point, so if you ever buy anything from Madacre Farms, that is picked the day that you order it. So which is a cool aspect.
It's
but
time consuming.
It's time consuming, but what it is too, you have to have the clientele. So if I got 100 ripe tomatoes, I need the client that's going to buy 100 ripe tomatoes. Yeah. And we can only eat so many tomatoes.
I mean, for an example, today alone, how many dozen eggs did you donate?
I donated 20 dozen eggs. 20
dozen eggs. We had 20 dozen eggs that, could we have sold them?
Yeah.
Sure, we could have. However, it just made more sense just to donate them.
Yeah.
And so we did that. We donated the eggs.
And the biggest thing is our following comes from our farmers market. We don't have a means of advertising to customers outside of the farmers market. We're working on a website.
Gosh, yeah.
And
something I gotta still do.
Yep. So we've been working on that website for a while now. I mean, but it's coming.
That kind of leads me to you know, what it takes to really, for like the YouTube, really doing that, and then starting the website, or for the business, or what to post, what not to post, where to post it to, and then let alone creating the content. What are we going to talk about? You know what I mean? Are people going to like it? Are they going to see it? And it's, we really put ourselves out there. You know what I mean? I feel like we're super vulnerable on doing some of these videos. You know what I mean? Because we're showing people sides of us that we've never really showed before. Yeah,
I mean that's we're asking people to trust us with the stuff that they put in their bodies. That's the least thing I think we can do, is show them who we actually are.
Okay.
I mean, how many times have I walked in a restaurant and said, looked at the cook and said, no, and walked out?
If you know Ryan, you know he has. They're talking about a guy who asked for plastic utensils.
I did. And remember the time they didn't have any to-go cups, and they bought me the kid cup?
They totally
bought me the kid cup.
He was drinking out of his little kid cup because they didn't have to-go cups, because he refused to drink out of their glassware.
Listen, I worked in the restaurant industry for a long time, and I know how people wash dishes. So I am even. I'm just saying. If you come over here, check the cups. Make sure Ryan, did you wash dishes today? And if I get it not, you're good to go. Just saying. Just saying. I rewash all the dishes. She do a pre-wash and I rewash. Pre-wash, rewash. To get back to reel this back in and talk. I mean, all journeys are definitely worth the travel. And if there's any pitfall, I wouldn't look at them as pitfall. I look at them as learning opportunities. And if you learned something from that pitfall, it's not a loss. So hopefully you guys gather something from this video. We just wanted to come on really and just talk to you guys. We're normal people. We're not at that picture perfect farm just yet, but we're going to get there in the next couple of years, I promise you. But we want you guys to see the real journey of how we got there. And if you guys have any comments, any feedback, anything, suggestions that you think we should be doing on our farm, because again, we're new at this, we welcome them. Any constructive criticism about the videos and what we do with our YouTube, we welcome that too. So we appreciate you guys. We definitely love you guys. Thank you very much for all the support.
Yes. Yep.
This has been an interesting year for us, an interesting journey. So,
it has. We've gotten to know each other again, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I could do this with anybody else. So I don't think anybody else would tolerate me. But yeah, we appreciate you guys. We're gonna make this a video though. We're gonna cut it right here. Again, like, share, subscribe, tell a million friends or two, and we'll catch you on the next one, guys. Peace.